Hi and welcome to 50/50 Parliament's Amplifying Muted Voices. My name's Caroline Whitehead and I am the Head of EDI for 50/50 Parliament's campaign Amplifying Muted Voices. Now, what happened was last week for Women's History Month, we had an event and it was entitled, it makes me smile every time I think about it. I have the t-shirt here. It was entitled Well-Behaved Women Seldom Make History. And it was kindly sponsored and supported by the Alliance Manchester Business School. I have three guests that were in the audience at that event, and we're going to have a chat about it, a summary, if you will. Jamilah Bruce, are you there?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm having a good, busy week, but I'm very, very good, and all the better for seeing you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Bit chilly. That's why I've got a big polar neck on. I'm a bit chilly. Introduce yourself, Jamilah.
Hello, I'm Jamilah Bruce, and I'm a freelance marketer and customer insight strategist based in Manchester. And outside of that, I am a keen netballer, a netball coach, and advocate for diverse groups to get their voice heard.
Brilliant. You're in the right place for getting your voice heard. And then our other two guests. Hi, Hana and Somaiya.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. Now, these two guests are from the University of Manchester's Diversity Politics Society. Is that right?
Yes.
Right. Each of you introduce yourself and what you're doing.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hana Al-Wakil. I'm a final year philosophy, politics, and economics student at the University of Manchester, and I'm also the co-founder and secretary at the Diversify Politics Student Society.
Excellent.
Hi, I'm Somaiya. I'm a third year and final year politics and international relations student at the University of Manchester, and I'm the inclusion officer for Diversify Politics.
Brilliant. And just to set the scene, so we had at the Alliance Manchester Business School, and thanks to Jane Cromwell-Home, the managing director and executive for executive education, for supporting us on this, we had our Well-Behaved Women Seldom Makes History event, and we had a great lineup of councillors, because this basically the event is to introduce people to 50/50 Parliament. They don't often have events up north, and this is one of since a long time, their first time in Manchester, and it's to get them involved in politics. 50/50 will support them to show that it's an inclusive network, and it aims to help women progress in politics. And our panel, facilitating that panel was our CEO, Leanne Nichols, and we had Councillor Eve Holt from the Labour and Cooperative Party, Councillor Simon Lepori from the Lib Democrats, Councillor Amna Abdulatif, who's independent, formerly Labour, and Vanessa Lee. Now, Vanessa Lee is Conservative, and she is a party candidate. And what that means is she's going up for being an MP, which is fantastic, and that's an interesting perspective from her. We also had Councillor Wendy Maisie, Conservative, and she's also a party political candidate for an MP, and Councillor Amanda from the Green Party. Have we missed anybody out? Yes, we have. We had some change makers. So we had CEO of the Pankhurst Centre, which is Gail Heath. Now, she always describes herself as political, but not a politician. And I suppose you have to be if you're going to be CEO of the Pankhurst Centre. And then we had Elizabeth Cameron, who's an equality, diversity and inclusion consultant, and she's a mentor and motivational speaker. And maybe we'll get to hear from Elizabeth soon. So over to you three. Talk to us about the event, because it was a panel discussion, but also a networking lunch. What did you get out of it? What things did you pick from it? Jamilah, let me just hand that over to you.
So for me, I left that event and I felt so pumped up. And to be honest, I felt like I was ready to take on the next misogynist that crossed my path. I think the speakers were great. The panelists were fantastic. They were vulnerable. They were raw. Someone just popped in my head that I don't think we mentioned. Sophia, she was awesome. She was.
Goodness me, Sophia Moreau. Yes, so Sophia Moreau, deputy leader of the Women's Equality Party. I knew there was somebody I was going to miss.
Sophia was awesome. I really liked how sort of direct she was and unapologetic, and the fact that she talked about the people who are making policy needing to be diverse and reflective of society. Otherwise, it sends a really strong message to those that policy doesn't represent. I thought Gail was fantastic. We had a really good chat afterwards, and it was great to network with her, especially bits that she's doing around like domestic violence and how that affects different marginalised groups. Truthfully, I thought everyone was really good, but I felt really empowered. I felt like I might go off and think about going into politics. I don't see myself as being a politician, but I do see myself as someone who has a lot of lived experience. Walking over to the business school, I had a little chuckle to myself because I went to the school across the road and the whole area had changed so much. And I thought, wow, I'm back here.
You mean the high school across the road? You went to that one?
Yeah, and it's changed so much. And I kind of had a little chuckle to myself because I thought I've sat in a room with these incredible change makers and people who have so much to say about our society and the world we live in. And we're only a couple of a short walk away from where the suffragette movement began in the UK. And here we are again. It kind of felt a bit ironic and full circle.
That's great. That's fantastic. Hana and Somaiya.
So very similar experience. Just felt so motivated after leaving the event. Obviously, as a politics student myself, who is looking to go into politics, that really gave me the extra boost that I needed to, think about it further. Think about maybe even standing up to be an MP myself. Maybe properly getting into party politics. I thought, especially Elizabeth Cameron's talk about how as women we need to work collaboratively together to stand up for our beliefs, to back whatever we say, to really put our foot down when it comes to our opinions. I thought everything that she said was incredibly important, about resilience and perseverance. I thought it was incredibly motivating. What did you think, Hana?
Definitely following on from what Somaiya said, as well as Jamilah, I think the event overall was a very inspirational space, very motivating. And most importantly, it was a really great opportunity to demystify the political process, especially as young people looking to start our journey into politics. It may seem a bit daunting at first, a bit overwhelming, but just hearing the experiences of the councillors and the different change makers on the panel made it seem a step more closer or more real that we too can make that sort of change. And I think one of the takeaways from the event was causing positive disruption to the status quo and making sure that your voice is being heard. And if you do not see the change that you would like to see, to be the change, to take this step and to start the movement really, and to rise up against discrimination, to make your voices heard, to amplify muted voices. I think the event was a really, really great opportunity for us as young students doing politics to see how we can too affect and make a change.
Yeah. I mean, and this is the intro was well-behaved women seldom make history. And as you probably remember, I did the anecdote of the fact that that phrase wasn't basically saying quiet women do not make history. It was thinking about and celebrating women who are quieter as well, because not one size fits all. Not everybody here is loud. And the Amplifying Muted Voices campaign weaves in nicely to this because, of course, there are some women in the room, like you said, you're studying politics, so it's on your radar. Some of them, they came into the room, it wasn't on their radar, but it is now. And that's a great testament to the panel that were there, and the fact that there was an event that they could go to find out a little bit more. The key is that because you don't get this normally, is that when councillors are there, they're going to be talking about their party politics, the policy, and so on. They don't normally get an opportunity to talk about how they got into politics. What was their switch that basically thought, you know what, I'm going to stand, and it resonated with a lot of people around the room. And there was one male on the panel. Your thoughts on Simon, because he's a female ally?
Yeah, I thought Simon was really impactful in what he said, in the sense that he talks about his journey a lot, and he mentioned his family a lot, and his mum being such a big motivator and his childhood. And I think that resonated with so many people, because, you know, I grew up in a single parent household with a single mum, and to talk about that and sort of bring it back, it made it relatable. And the fact that, you know, he's in Timperley, not far from where I grew up, you know, it made it feel real for me. And he's a really strong ally. He is an ally whose voice isn't quivering. He's standing up tall, he's speaking loud, and he's saying, look, we're not having this. I'm going to do the best for my constituents. And I think beyond Simon, encapsulating that and beyond, there was a really clear thread across all of the panelists that was very much, you know, you give back if you can, you say what's right regardless of what happens. And I think Simon really did embody that for me. What did you guys think?
Yeah. What did you think?
I definitely think it was really interesting to hear the views of Simon, specifically that the panel itself was mainly focusing on the experiences of women. So I think it was really important to have this sort of perspective that everyone can also join the conversation and help amplify the voices of the underrepresented, regardless of your descriptive characteristics. So I think one thing that I found really interesting about the discussions that Simon discussed was how he really focused on the local, and that you do not necessarily need to, in order to influence change, you don't necessarily need to do that at the national level. But you can start very simply by just looking at your communities, what is missing there, and how you can really impact or change the lives of the people that you live with, that you see on a daily basis. And just something as simple as that can really shape or launch your career into politics. And there's no one size fits all approach to getting into politics. It doesn't have to be through joining a political party. It can just be as simply as finding something that you're keen about, finding a group of people that you think you would want to help, and just starting from there.
Yeah, I mean, I know one or two that the thread has been being a school governor, so getting on the school governing board, because, you know, wanting to impact change in relation to that school and what that school has to offer, and some of the rules and regulations with that school. And that's the heart, you know, schools are heart of the community at the end of the day. And then talking about other hearts of the community, a religious organisation, whether it be a mosque or it be a church, or a synagogue. Again, being on that particular type of council as well, just understanding the governance from that point of view, a parish council. And then, of course, that is a great stepping stone to becoming, putting yourself forward as a councillor. So yes, from a local level, and I mean, I want to sort of point out people like Tracy Brabbin, who is Metro Mayor of Yorkshire and Humber, and Andy Burnham, understanding the local for what we know in relation to Andy Burnham, what he's done for transport and the safe spaces for where women walk. That's on his radar. He's a father of 2 daughters. These are the things that we want to hear, you know, that he understands that he wants to make spaces safe for his daughters. He also wants to look at, you know, he's tapped into the GM for Women 2028, where they're looking at data to improve equality in all areas. So yes, from the local level as well, that is a great foundation if you want to do that and then step forward international. But at the end of the day, what we want you to do is to stand. So we've had a look at, we had a chat about the event on the 21st. let's leap forward to Amplifying Muted Voices and what exactly is it all about. So to give you a bit of background, Amplifying Muted Voices, it was a workshop that I delivered for the Chartered Management Institute a couple of years ago now, and that was to do connected with women in work and the fact that women in work were not being heard. So in the boardroom or on a project team, their voices were not heard. And then when women came back from the pandemic, it seemed like the misogyny and inequalities got worse. Hence if you're having a meeting like this online, the amplifying the muted voices. And so sort of looking at that from work and then taking that idea and talking with the team at 50/50 Parliament, and I'm saying we could shape that and reshape it in relation to getting into politics. Because it's a similar kind of thing. There's no point. What did Shirley Chisholm? I watched Shirley last night. You must watch it on Netflix. It's brilliant. There's no point shouting and screaming because all you'll become is a shouter and a screamer. Okay, channel that energy and harness the people in the communities to think about what they want to stand up for and then go for it. So we had a successful time securing funding for the Rosa Fund, and the project is pilot. So it's for the north of England, and it'll be a series of events to empower underrepresented Black, Asian, and minority ethnic female change makers. Some might not think they're a change maker, so it's up to you as their friend or their family to say, that's you. You should get involved with that. You should go and see them. You should actually get onto that podcast, or you should actually go and see them in person. And we'll work for women who are unafraid to voice their vision for a better world and support them to have agency to transform their communities. And we were saying about the communities before. We discussed topics like devolution, Brexit, migration, rights and identity, in addition to aiding their personal development journey. And I'll be there every step of the way of this campaign until February 2025 to work with them and to empower them. And I'm inspired by my work with the Pankhurst campaign and Manchester International Women's Day projects with Manchester City Council and many, many more things like the Rise Voice votes with the Pankhurst Trust. And I'm passionate about ensuring a broader range of voices within our elected bodies. And I'll use the events to encourage women to aim for the Palace of Westminster and the council chambers. So, of course, I've lured you in because what I want to say to you three is I'd like you to be my amplifiers. And that means it's like an ambassador, but instead of ambassador, it's amplifiers, because three of you have got a voice, you've got opinions, and it'd be really great to do that. Support you two with your society, and come to your conference and speak at your conference, and have a bit of speed mentoring with some of your delegates. How does that sound?
That sounds fantastic. We would really love to have you on board.
Yeah. So we'll do that. And Jamilah, time permitting, you could come with me to Liverpool and Leeds, and we'll empower and have conversations with some of those women there and get them on board, because the objective towards the end of the campaign is to invite them to London to meet the rest of the 50/50, meet some MPs, and we go to the Palace of Westminster, we go to the House of Commons on Ask Her to Stand Day in November. That's the objective. That's what we want to do, is to go down there and force. It's a bit like a suffragette movement. It's a suffragette movement for the 21st century. What do you think?
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I think it's so important that you are spearheading this campaign, because when we think about politics and we think about women in politics, it never feels like it's someone that either looks like us or is like us. So to have amplifiers that are everyday people talking to other everyday people that get each other, I just think it's so needed. I'm
Yeah,
really excited
yeah,
to be on that.
yeah, exactly. People can identify. So, ladies, I know that Somaiya and Hana, I don't want to excuse the pun, eat into breaking your fast, and I want you to be able to go off now and break your fast. But thank you. I'm going to let you two go now because I know what time it is, and I know the time has passed. So I'm going to say thank you. We'll stay in contact. Keep communicating with me in relation to the University of Manchester Career Conference, and anybody who is watching this podcast, please get in contact for Liverpool and Leeds, so we can actually come over there and have a chat with you. In the meantime, we'll be getting some MPs, councillors, and also setting out some training that you can have and some motivational talks along the way in relation to the Amplifying Muted Voices campaign. So, ladies from the Diversify, what did I call it? Diversifying?
Diversify politics.
Diversify Politics Society. Got to get that in my head. I shall speak to you soon. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a lovely day. Thank you.
Take care,
Thank you.
ladies.
And now, Jamilah, you are going to submit an article, a summary of the event, and that will go onto the 50/50 Parliament website. Is there anything else in relation to that, or what you might think you want to see going forward, connected with the Amplifying Muted Voices? What do you think you'd be able to offer?
A down-to-earth opinion is a good start. You know, someone who doesn't come from a massive, mega rich family or a super privileged family, someone who is at heart just a girl from Manchester who wants to connect with other people and see other people do well and do the best for the community. Just jumping back to your first question about Thursday, I took away that we just need action. I think everyone, in particular, diverse, muted voices, are sick of hearing about all the things we need to do for diversity, and we want to just see it happen. So I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to pushing that forward. I'm sick of people saying to me, we need more diversity in these spaces, which sounds very checkbox exercise to me.
Yes.
I don't want to see that.
No. No.
So yeah, I'm really excited about that, and I look forward to bringing my energy, enthusiasm, passion, sometimes overly blunt views and thoughts, because I think it's needed. We're sick of lip service. I'm on board with the 21st century suffragette movement.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you so much. And I'm just going to close because I'm obsessed now with Shirley Chisholm. Put that on your watch list, everybody. Shirley Chisholm is just called Shirley, and it's on Netflix, and it stars Regina King. And Regina King has been trying to get this project, this film, out for 10 years. And then she was supported by her sister, who's not normally an actress, but her sister played a part in it, played Shirley Chisholm's sister in there, and she was very, very good, and they both were producers on it. And if you don't know about Shirley Chisholm, look her up, do some research. And I'm going to end with a quote from Shirley. "You don't make progress by standing on the sidelines, whimpering and complaining. You make progress by implementing ideas." Thank you. My name's Caroline Whitehead, Head of EDI for the Amplifying Muted Voices campaign for 50/50 Parliament, kindly sponsored and supported by the Rosa Fund. I'll see you soon.
Thanks so much for having me.
You're welcome.